I went over to the Heritage Center, they have one of those Zoom room things. And it's like a 360 view, and then it shows the speaker talking, and then it shows the rest of the room like underneath it.
Okay.
But if we wanna do something like that, it's probably gonna be about 10 grand.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
But then, you know, if we could just figure out if you were able to get the kinds of microphones the county's using.
and what kind of microphones do they have?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I just suggested
Because our guy said, that if we did, because I asked him that specifically, I go, sometimes when we're in the room right here, like I can't hear someone talk and we're, you know, and he goes, but you don't want to amplify the room because that's gonna make it echo more.
Right, you just wanna.
So, but, and then I asked him about the microphones too,
I mean,
and he said, you don't want to get those kind that you have to speak directly into.
oh yeah, I realize that.
Okay.
I realize that, and that's not what's on the tables at the commissioners.
They have these kind where it just the sound.
There's
projects.
those are round ones
Okay.
at various strategic places, and
Yeah.
the sound is very good, and I just thought,
In
If
the
you-
room is good too, like it's amplified.
I don't know, I haven't been in a commissioner meeting room in
Yeah.
person in,
I mean, to
Ages.
me, you might not, it might not affect you as much because you're sitting over here and they're talking like they're projecting this way.
and they're on both sides of me, yeah.
But like sometimes when I'm sitting over there and like the person, say the audience member speaking, like I'm like, it's hard to hear them, you know?
Sure.
And it's weird because it's like, it's just,
I know, the acoustics in this room are not great.
yeah. Oh, that was one thing he said. He's like, you guys could put sound panels.
Okay.
He's like, I don't know if you wanna do that because it's an historic building. But he's like, that's something you could do to
Sure.
kind of like,
Improve the acoustics.
yeah, get rid of the echo.
Okay, something to think about.
Yeah.
Hold on. Good morning. Don't make me start over. I'm not going for that.
It's all relative.
Sure, it's morning somewhere.
Yes, it
All
is.
relative to how your day is going.
Yeah,
If you don't expect to get better soon, it's still morning.
well,
So.
I had a pretty good day, but I'm ready for tomorrow.
All things
Yeah.
considered, didn't have the worst day of my life.
Well, good.
See, this is my breakfast. It's the first thing I've eaten today, so.
Well, what are you waiting for? My tongue was growling at noon because I didn't eat any breakfast.
I had a fasting blood draw this morning,
Uh,
and then I had 3 new employees start today. So I had to get back up to work to train the new, I did stuff in the Starbucks, so I guess that counts.
sorta, yeah.
You see,
No.
I spent more money on Starbucks.
I put $25 on my card today.
Because I have Starbucks over here also.
Oh.
Mostly because I wanted to use the bathroom.
Has that Starbucks not being there affected you guys' business?
Quite a bit.
Is it?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's better now that the new coffee shop is open.
I'm just warming it
Is
up.
it pretty
for you.
good?
I'm gonna get this one. He doesn't like their coffee from Starbucks. I don't like their
Where's she gonna
coffee
sit?
from Starbucks. But there's a.
She doesn't usually-
I guess they have like 12 different,
Yeah, you're early.
types of
That's-
tea. I was downstairs in town. Yeah, so.
And how'd it work out?
It
Didn't balance.
Mary,
I did tomorrow.
if you sit there, your head is gonna be in the shot. Just FYI.
Yep, we're getting a nice profile. Hmm.
But Randy can move, or you probably won't. That's very smart.
He doesn't need any kneecaps.
Sit Indian style on your leg. Sit Indian style on your chair.
I've never been able to sit Indian style in my life.
Okay, how about now?
Still can't sit Indian style.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it still?
yes, I'll move this chair with moi.
You're off the screen.
Better, oh, now Randy's in.
Randy's in.
I'm gonna remain.
Hello.
I have an office and a Zoom camera, so.
Deanne.
We are, it's recording.
Oh, I'm
She's
scared.
got it recording.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any really cool, like, winter fashions out?
No,
Not yet,
Nothing too exciting?
the store is still 50% of it is 40% off on sale.
Nice.
I'd say the next week or two, we're gonna start sending all of the sales stuff to our outlet stores to make room for new stuff.
Ah.
We have, I think most of our Burton women's stuff is in. There's a kind of a really cute little bib, I got it.
Where's your outlet stores that you send stuff to?
There's Mountain Sports Outlet in Silverthorne,
Okay.
or there's a Breck Main Street Outlet.
Hmm.
they're racing to get here today, aren't they?
Pardon?
They're racing to get here today, aren't they?
Yeah. It's early yet.
There's Leslie Betty.
Hello.
One of those holes
We
you
got
start to
an hour and a half of stuff today.
Yeah.
Be Mary, did you get my email about East Lake?
Training.
Yeah,
I still, and I still don't just.
With the two,
I know there's probably more
two
tweaks.
different numbers.
Oh, she gave you a different number for this last one?
No, even on
You
the
become early.
Christmas market one.
Yeah,
She put
What's your
down
favorite
two
brand?
different numbers and I checked them both and.
okay.
I don't know if I
I'm
have
gonna
that.
CC you after
I have
you-
some different stuff.
I was kind of waiting until we had that meeting
Kind of
yesterday
really doesn't fit me well.
about the
The size,
expansion over
it's-
here.
Okay, it's nice and warm, it's
And
stupid
the
expensive.
street. And
But,
then, and I just been
it's
driving.
not worth it.
But I'm gonna start sending
Kevin
out
Hansen, I thought
emails
was
to
really
them
all
saying
over,
that
and,
they're accepted
but let's just say
under
it's more.
with
of an
conditions.
athletic fit than I am.
and that they need to follow with the
Gotcha.
Department of
Yeah.
Revenue to prove that they're in
It's
compliance
tough.
with previous
Especially when I try to
event
do
taxes.
it
And to contact you more than, you know, and if they don't by such and such a date, if I don't hear anything out, you know, give them a date.
I did need to email you,
So I don't know
because
what
it
that's all
says
about.
today, well, that's what I was
But
working
it
on.
sucks cool.
And, 7290 or whatever soap company.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They
So I'm
wanted
gonna
a
go
was
this
one,
one to,
Oh, interesting, because she hasn't been touched me at all.
and then,
saw stuff the girls.
Sam,
Girls stuff.
yes,
Yeah,
and even,
oh, okay,
so,
okay.
I mean, I
And
can't,
I've been in contact with him, so maybe all of a sudden he knows.
well, I know that Department of Revenue also.
Yeah, well, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good.
You okay?
It's just a down of those stairs.
I'll see it.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
those were the days.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Tremendous, how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and I will.
Yeah.
Do you need the rest of your packet? Probably want to catch downstairs before they go. I think Rick's probably.
It's good.
Are you? See, I wish you were.
You can. You're gonna make me run downstairs.
Hello again?
Worn out.
I'm not worn out.
Hello. I'm so glad.
Yep.
How are you? Hey, how are you? Did you see it?
Hello, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Sit back here. What are you doing all your time?
All my time.
I told Mark that he got harder to get a hold of, and he's standing there, like, way off. Like, I can reach him anytime.
I understand that
You know, it's kind of, I call it the Weber syndrome.
It's good.
Always, so I did a chat with, and he's seriously looking into it. I'm trying to process, you know, just figure out. County farms and all of these. They need to get a handle on it.
How are you?
I mentioned to Rick, I'm sure it will improve.
How about you?
Actually,
How are you, Mark?
one thing you need to see is-
Mark, you're John. How are you doing? Doing good, Bob. Do you have a,
Oh, yeah, so they.
Yes.
So that means. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not that, I just don't accept that it's something. I just have to.
Up to about,
How much snow?
you know, like 3/4 of an inch.
And.
12 inches. I'll send right over. You're under that, but you think it's like 5. It's a lot of money.
I'm not suggesting.
He's borrowed, he knows it's cold, and you just let it warm up. Yeah, also, if I'm gone, I will put it on the bench.
Of course, but they're not even maintaining what's. Some of those.
Yeah, okay.
And they just push the hot side to the side of the road.
Absolutely.
You'll see shower action and fixed. And then the edge of that asphalt is collapsing a little bit. There's.
Yeah.
The county.
And
After. They're not limiting, they're not limiting. This is who they are. One thing that's my. Yeah. Yes, and now, we're not there good time, you know, because we're on the lake up there, you know, or next. So we've been a year available, you know. It's our issue, right?
You can, so it's fine.
So Zach, cut us through it?
Yeah.
They can get it to 700,000 possible.
Probably not at the rate they're going now, but.
Yeah, because they only got a few miles a day.
Well, just a short distance, like they're keeping that. You must have driven a lot. You must have driven a lot.
You know, there's a lot of trips to Silver in that. Once a year. Yes, I was hearing this.
Good.
There we go. Yeah. There's this, So.
That would add up.
You know, that's a lot of miles on the internet. A lot of those, luckily, most of it's interstate miles. Very little city stop. Which I think helped them out.
I would think so, right,
But at some point, you got 500,000. You know.
It's just free money. It's found money.
The red iron lakes.
No problem. So we've got, well, we don't have anybody, we've only got 3 selectmen so far, so.
No quorum?
Not quite yet.
That's right.
Is Rich coming? He was gonna join virtually. I know, so.
I saw a really that's right.
I was looking this way, I wasn't looking that way.
I just see everybody else do it. You thought I said it.
We got it there.
Okay, but, so I move to approve ordinance number 3, series 2022, amending section 5.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Just so it reads minute.
Sounds good.
It's always been after fire and stuff.
There's no.
No good when the thumb's over by you.
No downtime to the brain. It's all good.
Rich is not.
I can go down.
Jen said he was gonna be on screen
But
tonight.
all.
Yeah,
Not-
Paul, if you're gonna dance, I can do that.
Okay.
So I can go.
Should I text him and
run
see
down
where he
and
is?
get Rich's email.
You want me to text him and see if there is?
Sure. Hello, Jerry.
Howdy.
That's why I put on a couple of sweaters and you're asking if the hell I'm warm. I think it's parka weather.
I am just comfortable.
First thing people do is just about when you're comfortable, then they open a door. It's
Just like all your other board.
Yeah.
See, that's why I knew I lit up here.
I was gonna say, you live here for a reason.
It takes a lot of.
And you live in Evergreen. I do, you're older, I do.
You're gonna tear that.
You're at altitude.
place.
I am at altitude. I lived in Canada for a number of years. So.
You're like, I know.
We like- Table thing for a little bit, just do the.
Sure.
Put floor in.
There's not much we can do without a quorum. There's
I know,
not
but
really
just
much.
staff
But I wanted to
notes,
get your-
and that way Bob
Just
won't have to
could you
stay
do
here forever.
We don't, we just have three.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
Rich
sure.
is
that
supposed
would
to be
fine.
joining
But
virtually.
you-
She just
Depends
texted.
on when we schedule it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Deanne
did.
is-
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking
I
at
don't
your-
know, but we know Paul's not
calendar
coming,
and Just.
so.
Give it a
The
couple
whole
minutes.
place, stairs.
You don't need more, is it?
Attending.
Top
You
of
do
the
something
stairs,
in
carpet
the
stairs.
charter that says that
Wood
free beer
tracks.
is afforded those that shall.
That's the only time.
To teach those that didn't
Yeah,
shall.
I was just reading the
Yes.
chart today and what
Have
is
you
it
checked
now
on liquid?
that you might know,
No, I haven't
that could
been.
help you
Okay,
out?
so
You know,
they have solid.
Where-
So,
Yeah.
what is your wife?
Guys,
Solid is more than mailing
quorum.
versus floating. That's what I'm saying. I see your advice.
There's four.
It's just it's a thing about cost. Kind of feel.
Majority of the board.
You know, we had
Yeah,
I like
afraid
the
not.
owners involved.
I can't break the tie in a quorum.
I just, you know,
Yeah.
your business.
Yes, only in a
Free beer?
Are you?
Okay, I just sent it again.
Really don't have enough to do.
Seriously, dude? That's what he said.
Let's hope so. Ah.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Got it.
As we get a little bit further away from the crash.
Good, then you just stay right
Jesus
there.
Christ.
He's upstairs too. So, I mean, it's
Stop eating.
'Did you get smacked by a ball from John?
The blood is just now going away.
Oh, my.
And then it gets full
The
blood.
lines start to get
Whoa.
fuzzy
Strip all that.
and it's like it's better.
Plywood.
Hit the back, and he like came
Yeah,
out
what's
behind
with
me,
your-
like he hit me, but I had already.
Oh, so he was at the.
Yeah, and he said.
Early times, it's kind of nice, usually right on top of my legs. It's kind of nice.
I tend to not recommend just because you would imagine.
He's a little bit of a cornball, but he was good, but.
Review for me. She is so.
Yes,
It's just a little.
And then we went to this wedding over the weekend, so.
So you need to-
Just done, like right after that. Kind of see it.
Oh, I can still tell, I know.
That's not.
Sheer polish, the walking.
Well, and you can say, you've got one, you
Yeah, a lot of-
say who.
Gonna use it to your advantage.
It's
Oh,
really
I
not,
can't
it's
believe
really
that
not
up.
fair
You
to
get that
base
mark?
an
I keep
evaluation.
my finger, like behind my paddle.
I have a straight right.
And I shouldn't do that, but it doesn't, feels weird.
It's easy to do.
I know, but I might have a
because
first
you
study
get-
time to
Go into the strength center and I didn't get to it. And that was longer than
If I didn't,
because I actually went through
Switching hands.
assigned numbers,
I don't
went
switch
through
hands.
and
I don't hit two hands, I just go like, shoot.
started on the
Yeah, I don't do it. Yeah, I mean,
today
I get it.
actually read.
Pickleball, it just
And then
doesn't
I
make a lot of sense.
saved it, closed it,
Yeah.
Just
and
now
then
kind of started to step in, like, one shot too, which is really nice.
Kind of like doing taxes.
So seriously.
It's fun playing with you. It's
Yeah,
not
we're in the
just-
same
no,
things that
I
I've
like
heard
it.
the process. As much as I'm gonna embrace that, it makes things easier.
No.
Double your estimate though.
Finish
So what
that.
it-
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it,
funny.
it ticks me off.
Basketball.
When somebody says it'll only take you 10 minutes and then it takes longer.
I'll double that.
It's very
Center and do, at least
interesting.
that
I
Wednesday.
mean, if you want to
Look bad, and sometimes,
yes,
maybe give it to us on Fridays too.
20 to
I
30.
had another
I don't know if that
idea.
works out for
I just was
you.
thinking, it'd be nice
Something
to
local.
have-
Yeah.
I'll,
I'm sorry, what?
Just get a plate.
and I see that.
Just leave that box like.
No school on
Oh, I
Fridays.
bet they, but I bet you the rec center will.
See, the rec center,
When I was
kids on Fridays.
supervisor,
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, but then
you got
we
it.
don't have access to
Everyone's
shy the gym
evaluated.
at the school.
Less work is always better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you're not on that page.
Yeah.
Right,
Always
support
used to
it.
play basketball here.
Oh, no, I know, you know, there- up until this year, extra use of the
Oh, okay.
school property
Change it.
I
with
am gonna.
outside of COVID,
Just
blah,
change
blah,
that.
blah, any of these
Oh,
schools.
advisory.
Yeah, they-
Controversial.
You know, you
Okay.
didn't, you weren't a student, a teacher, a staff member, all
Usually.
these schools, they were.
You don't want to, oh, we already passed it. We already passed it.
I don't wanna say overly cautious.
Like it's the same thing.
Well, they were just trying to
Yeah.
limit, yeah, right, but this year it's all.
The reason I talked about besides.
We did a little bit.
Okay.
Certainly probably for
I
example.
just kind of-
And you want that after this?
Yeah, very end.
They need to.
I'm in no rush.
See
All right.
That's it's conditions, they want to-
Yeah, whenever.
Oh, no, I get it. No,
What is,
that'd be
is,
fine.
Did we get touched?
I'm fine not traveling down there.
That's kind of my thought.
Yeah. Especially on a cold winter day when it's
Yeah, I'll
people out.
Plastic
Don't have to drink, don't have to.
My boys won't carry that far.
Where is- I guess that was the first question I forgot to
I
ask.
could drive pretty well, but I don't think it'll carry that far.
Well, I thought I,
Well, there's a couple other people that go to
I'm old school.
rec center that don't come up here.
When, you know, before cell phones, kids
They're-
carried around
bad things, and
GPS
I don't know what
locators
to
and
do.
all that
Maybe
garbage.
with the
We could
schools,
stray far
We
enough
could still
from the
have the course
house,
set up at the rec center.
as long as
Well,
we
got
could
space
hear
for one.
dad's
That's
whistle.
what I think.
Yeah.
And
Well, we
dad
definitely
had
have
a,
to.
he didn't even
Yeah.
have a finger on,
And I was
his
gonna
was
say,
a,
we could do like
Or
center
we
on
could do
Wednesdays.
loud.
oh, very loud, very loud.
Yeah.
And if you were too far away to hear
But I
that,
think we could set
then
up.
you were too far.
See, we're the same.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we used to, my dad,
Yeah.
he would yell,
So we
and
could.
we were
Yeah.
like 4 or
So
5
maybe-
blocks
and
away.
even
We
if
could
it's
just-
Side by side, yeah.
We knew we had to.
I wish they
That was like dinner time.
Line the tennis.
Or
courts
whenever
side by
the
side.
Or when
call
needed.
came, yeah.
Yeah. Just, you know, the line, I don't know, maybe the lines
Does it
would,
suck?
that, you know, the kitchen line and the line for tennis, it's just like. You have to-
Yeah, like this much
Yeah, yeah,
distance, yeah, you're supposed to be
yeah.
happy.
I have not, I just.
Yeah. And then too, you wouldn't necessarily be, you know,
Body came-
interrupting someone else's play if the ball goes long, so. Or if you're normal.
I could just be up there now, because like, I wonder if they're teaching kids pickleball. Or like if they have a pickleball, meeting.
The middle school, Karen at the middle school used to do it,
Well,
but,
let's get the night notice, something.
you know, it's a
Yeah,
bit of-
I did hear that.
I don't know. if
I would
they
think
before
schools
that.
are teaching them.
Yeah.
No, Craig got a beat, remember?
It's real popular.
No, Craig got a beat in pickleball.
When
We're
you
like,
was doing middle school?
dude, it's pickleball. How did you get a beat?
Because he was probably hitting the ball.
Really know the rules.
Well, the rules are complicated. I just know it. And there are a lot I still don't know.
Yeah, we didn't know those rules if you want to. The kitchen gets,
There are a lot of
the
rules.
kitchen is my weakness. Yes.
Employees of our region. Yeah.
Any luck?
You didn't answer.
No, we're still all those numbers.
I sent several texts to, maybe he's driving, maybe he's coming home late or something.
Hmm.
Well, we have a lot of stuff that we have to decide tonight.
Only one thing matters, really. Oh, sorry.
He may have to come back.
No offense.
Oh, you mean approval of the minutes? Yes.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So that's.
Payables too.
Every meeting.
It was too.
Come on, come on, come on.
I wonder if the link isn't working, if you can just call. I think that's what-
But he's not even responding. to
Oh, he
texts,
isn't?
So, I mean, I could try calling.
Yes.
It's not like I'm interrupting our
Yeah,
meeting,
he's
right?
not responding to text. See if you can manage it, at least by phone. You know, or-
Unless this is a dead spot.
So, yeah. I have to get it approved from the bosses.
Bears.
Two rainy days. Hey, Rich, it's Mary. Oh, okay. Are you gonna be able to zoom in or come? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, well, sure, you should have invited us over. We could have all come over there and had our meeting there.
Yes.
What, we have a meeting tonight?
You're at an Amway meeting?
He just had a bunch of Broncos over at his house. Or his club, or wherever, or at your club, oh.
That's why they lost last night?
Yeah,
You're a
really.
little
Was
out
it an
of-
inquiry?
our-
That was Russian.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
embarrassing.
All right, no big
I
deal.
know.
We don't have a quorum, so we were
Embarrassing.
installed. So.
We're waiting for you.
We're
Okay,
waiting for
so
you.
we'll look for it.
You're holding us hostage.
Clap when you come
Trying to
up.
64 yard field.
Yeah, you can see though, because that always works out well.
No, that is down there. Walkway.
Sorry, he was entertaining the Broncos.
Well.
Is he on his way?
Oh, he's logging on.
Okay,
Well, but at the, Boys and Girls Club.
Did you say like girls?
No.
I gotta take this.
Rob,
What's the Boys and Girls Club? Let me pick it up. Sorry. We recording?
not yet.
yes, we are.
Actually,
Always.
we're live.
We are,
We
so-
go live around 6. So there's that.
But no one clap when he comes on.
I'm cheering.
It does have to go to a satellite and then come back.
That's a long way.
And that's a long.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just
Gotta
in
give
It's
it
a
time.
couple minutes.
case you wanna know how you rank among the Broncos, we all can.
Yeah, no.
Second.
Broncos.
A close second.
It was that close. So I think it was.
Give that guy a lot of money.
Yeah, my friends from Kansas City have rubber helmets. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
The backup guy?
There he is.
You said not to clap.
Thank you for coming.
Yes. All righty, we are ready to go. It is 6:19 PM on September 13th, 2022. And I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Georgetown to order. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. I am Police Judge Lynette Kelsey. Rob Connell.
Here.
Deanne Powell is not here tonight. John Jennings.
Here.
Paul Hingen is also not here. Mary Smith. Here. And Rich Barrows.
Yeah, baby.
Here, yeah, baby.
Okay, agenda approval. Jerry has an item to add to the agenda.
Yes, I'd like to add a short executive session at the end of the meeting to adjourn at the meeting adjourn at the conclusion of the executive session. We don't need to come back to take action under 246424A, B and E with for legal advice and instruct negotiators concerning acquisition of real property. So we can make that a part of the agenda.
Okay. All right, any other additions to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda dated September 13th, 2022, with the amendments made.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Audience business. Members of the audience have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest not already on the agenda. Not tonight? Okay.
We have fans.
All right, very good. Next, we have the payables from August 19th through September 8th, 2022. Any questions or comments on the payables?
I'll make a motion to approve the payables dated. Yeah, I can't.
August 19th.
August 19th to the August to September, wait, August 19th to September 8th.
I'll second that.
Okay.
You look good in those glasses.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payables from August 19th through September 8th, 2022. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. The minutes, these are from our regular meeting. This was our last meeting, which was on August 23rd, 2022. I had one correction, and that was the approval of the previous meeting's minutes were as presented, not as amended. As far as I know, we didn't have any amendments to the previous meeting. Anything else?
I'll make a motion to approve the August 23rd minutes
Second,
As,
as amended.
still second.
okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the August 23rd, 2022 meeting as amended. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Wonderful. First item on our action item list is a public hearing. This is a Georgetown liquor license authority, so do we have to convene as?
Convene as you can just declare your convene as the liquor
We are
authority.
convening as the liquor license authority.
Sure.
And we're opening a public hearing, and this is for GT 6th Street Station, which is located at 612 6th Street in the atrium, Unit B.
The staff report is probably Jen and me. Jen did share the application with me, and I made a couple comments. I think those have been addressed by the applicant, as I recall. I really only had a couple. So I cleared the application for review at the public hearing. Jen, did you have anything more?
No, not really. I mean, everything checked out. She's, Dana Abrahamson is the owner, is listed as the manager on the application, so there's no need to register a manager.
And as the board knows, one thing we always need to establish for a new liquor license as opposed to a transfer renewal is the board has two things to look at: the good moral character of the applicant, and you have the reports, et cetera, in the file, and you've shown that, and the whether the needs and desires of the neighborhood are such that there's a need and desire for an additional license, and I usually handle that by a couple of questions to the applicant. The applicant probably has just sort of more of a presentation that she wants to give to you, and after she's done that, I can ask a couple of questions to establish that way. And then you can have questions to the applicant and discussions, public hearing. So you also take public testimony. So the applicant, questions the applicant by me, questions the applicant by the board, and any public testimony, and then decision would be the order.
Okay. Please share.
Dana Abrahamson. I have never gone through this process before, so I did not prepare any comments in my mind or otherwise. So let me just take a stab at it here. As I think you all know, I have owned and operated the coffee shop in the same building. We opened that in the spring of 2020. It had been an existing restaurant and coffee shop for about the last 10 years. And I own the building, so I leased it to about 4 tenants over that period of time. And so when my last tenant didn't renew their lease, that's when I took over the business itself. I just thought we could do a better job and, create some employment positions and pay well. And we've done that, and it's really gone pretty well. Our plan to expand that to include a liquor license will give us the ability to keep our customers in the evening, provide more food offerings. We've already got a kitchen. There's been a kitchen in that building for many years. And we would like to I feel like we still have some limitations in terms of what restaurants offer here in town right now. So, what I personally like to see is like a little more charcuterie, more fresh things, like kind of more heavy appetizers, things like that. Craig and I just came around the corner downtown the other night, at only like 8 or 8:30, and there wasn't a single car. I kind of mentioned that to Lynette. And, we kind of remember A lot of us remember when there were, people and there was activity downtown, and now everything just really kind of shuts down pretty quickly. And I mentioned last time I spoke to you guys that, losing Lucha downtown, it was our biggest restaurant, and it really left a great big gaping hole. So I certainly do think there's room for another liquor licensed establishment. And I would also remind you that the Raven Hill was in that building for over 20 years. And it was a restaurant and bar, and a lot of us really enjoyed it. And, really, they kind of left a little bit of a hole when they were gone also. And so, that's what we're hoping to create, is a little more vibrancy downtown, more restaurant options for people. We'd like to be able to keep people downtown. I feel like we'll have a successful transition into evening hours, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if you guys have noticed down in Denver, there are many coffee shops with a liquor license or a beer and wine license. And, the college kids and, young 30-somethings absolutely flood those places. And, we know because we have a 24-year-old daughter that lives in those neighborhoods, right? And she can't even find a place to sit and work, and they love it. They're very popular, in other words. And, we'd like to serve craft beers. We've got a connection with our daughter at school in Oregon, some nice Oregon wines. And I think it'll be nice, and I think we'll provide some food offerings for people and just an additional place to keep people out in the evening. But our busiest coffee shop hours, that was the point I was making, are 3 o'clock in the afternoon, really. It's not.
That's when you need the pick-me-up.
So everybody, our busiest time of day is always, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we think we can keep those people around town later in the evening hours. And, so that's our plan. And, we kind of consider it just an enhancement to what we're already doing in that space. And we've got a small deck in the back that's included in the application. And people just love that deck too, which I can't believe because it's just a little over a parking lot, but it's outside with some great views. So anyway, that's our plan, and I'd love to answer any questions if you've got them.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Your questions.
That actually fairly well covers what I needed to get into the record, which is that there's a need and desire for a tavern license. And I guess all I asked you to do would be to kind of confirm that there is a need and desire based upon actually what you've already said, which is very helpful, losing luchas and the other points you make about the evening. So you can confirm that?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I need. Questions from the board?
I don't have any questions. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Good luck.
What are your hours and plan of the
We're
days of the week?
well, in the winter time, in summertime, it'll be 7 days a week. All of our operations are 7 days a week in summertime. In the winter time, we'll probably have to be closed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, although we keep the Mountain Buzz open on Wednesdays because a lot of restaurants are closed on Wednesdays. So jury's out on Wednesday. I think on the weekends, though, I hear, we're friends with the Coopers and Cabin Creek both get some, especially Microtel occupants looking for food, after like 9 o'clock. I think we're going to experiment with some later hours on Fridays and Saturdays. And then, Sundays are really pretty weak business-wise in town too. And one of our thoughts is, our food distributor brings in fresh fish 6 days a week now. So we could do sushi on Sundays. That would bring people out potentially. So we may be open till like say 10 or 11 at night, but not real like late bar hours, but we'd like to have later food hours. We think we need that.
And then I haven't peeked in your windows. Are you expanding into the little space? I mean, you're not just talking the coffee shop where you exist now, you're talking the space next door too.
It's a space next door. There's a big double opening between those two spaces.
Yeah.
And we've had coffee shop seating in there previously. And so it is in that space just next door.
But so will you still have the traffic flow back and forth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
It's
looking cute. We've got tables set up in there, it's meant to be kind of warm and cozy and friendly and comfortable. Great.
Okay. Sounds wonderful.
Great.
Okay.
Questions of the public?
This is a public hearing, so if there are any questions from anyone in the public, either in the room or attendees on on Zoom, if you do want to make a comment from Zoom, please put something in the chat for Jen or raise a hand, or we'll give you a moment to do that.
Amanda's the only attendee, so.
Okay. All right.
Marshall Williams.
Yes.
I don't think I take any issue, I don't know if this is the venue, just some of the things you mentioned. Obviously, he was there, everything else, some of your operation, I think you're going to want to learn a lot of the rules for liquor purchases. Not that.
I feel so fortunate that Amanda Cooper is very generous with her knowledge, and we talked with Amanda, and she takes me under a little bit.
The one of the things you want to do is. Two of them were not being able to just pick up wine from someplace interesting to serve.
Yes.
Second, perimeters for your services.
Yes.
I think you guys have a great understanding, so good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. All
There's a
right,
motion in the packet.
there certainly is.
I'll make the motion. I move to approve the town tavern license for Silver Queen Tap at 612 6th Street, Atrium B, Georgetown, Colorado, submitted by G2 6th Street Station LLC.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the tavern license for Silver Queen Tap at the address and for the business stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passes.
Good
And
luck
we-
with that.
All right, and we now reconvene as the Board of Selectmen.
I can take my tie off.
Yeah.
Yes. It was uncomfortable looking, going that way.
Let your hair down too.
Yeah, let your hair down. Yeah, John, let your hair down.
Why did you bully him?
All right.
It's a rough grade.
Tough crowd.
You opened the door. Yeah, good. Next, we have a public hearing regarding supplemental budget. So I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing for the supplemental budget at this time. Mary, do you want to walk us through this one?
Well, we had several departments that were over budget because, well, general fund for one, just with all the work we had to do with the replacement server and such, and then the salary increases. So I just went through the whole budget as of July and saw where we had additional revenues and put them towards the additional costs. They're all listed there. I don't know if you have any questions on specific ones. You know, gas and oil was a big one for road and bridge and PD just because of gas prices. Like I said, the server, even though we were reimbursed by CERSA, just install and time spent from and with the additional Strauss Park restrooms, and more water, more electricity being used by them. So,
Can you explain, I just need a refresher course on the, it's under the expenditures section, the subscription for water augmentation. Is that different than the actual usage? So it's down,
towards the bottom.
51-40-570.
Okay, so when I pay the county, it
Mhm.
comes out of that line item. But it always has to get supplemented because when the revenue comes in, it's coming in, as a reimbursement from Bighorn,
Right,
from Centennial.
right.
So it's, and it changes, it increases over time. So, I mean, it's just, the money, the extra revenue was there because Bighorn paid it. I just need to put it in the budget for an expense.
Okay, okay. But it is one of those reimbursable,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
reimbursable,
got it.
just where it came in and it wasn't
okay,
budgeted per se in our adopted budget. so
Okay.
I have to move it over.
okay, very good. That's the only thing I would add is to make sure that that sheet that you provided us with actually gets titled Exhibit A since it's being referred to as Exhibit A.
It is down at the bottom, actually.
Oh, down, I wasn't looking at the bottom, I was
I know
looking at
the
the
type
top.
is pretty small, I was trying
Yeah.
to fit it all on one.
You couldn't get it smaller?
And you did very well.
Crying.
Okay, got it. Any other questions or comments? Okay. So I believe, any questions or comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, there is a recommended motion in the packet.
I'll make that motion. I move to approve resolution 13, series 2022, a resolution of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Georgetown, Colorado, enacting a supplemental budget and appropriation in the fiscal year 2022 budget.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 13, series 2022. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And we will close the public hearing on that. Next, we have the, we're proposing ordinance number 3, and this is on first reading. And this is to amend our short-term rental reg. Do you want to lead us off on
Sure,
that?
I'll just give a brief summary. I know you've read it. I know you guys have all been great at that. But we're trying to be more sticklers about the code and make sure that we have appropriate short-term rental owners and so forth. It's been brought to my attention that in the past, near past, not long term ago, but there's been organizations that have been telling their cleaning companies to put trash in our own trash cans, in the town's trash cans. They don't have a trash plan. And I found out because one of their employees told me. And so there's nothing in our ordinance that requires a trash plan, even though recently I've been adding that as a condition of their contract. So to me, it doesn't seem appropriate for me to have to continue to put a condition on that. That should be part of an ordinance. That if you don't have a trash plan, then that it does not give you right to put that in our town trash. And so that's what this is about. It's just amending a small clause of this to include that they have to come up with a trash plan that would be acceptable to the administrator.
Rick, I'm not sure all the board members have that ordinance.
The full thing?
I have the ordinance, but it's not on the agenda.
I realize that. You need a copy.
No, I've got the
Who's got the
ordinance.
ordinance?
You have the action item.
Oh, well, I have the actual, well,
Right.
yeah, but it's not on
It
the
was,
agenda.
Oh, yes, that was,
Yeah.
that's right.
So the agenda. got-
But we amended the agenda and posted it, and
Okay.
That's-
good catch, good catch, yes.
So where the amendment on the ordinance, Mary, I can read it to you.
No, I got it, I got it. I
Okay.
was concerned that it wasn't my copy of the agenda and we'll be acting.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, the language is in the ordinance of what we would change. So any questions or comments?
Is one of the, I always, that trash can, that trash dumpster, that's just off of, I guess it would be 7th and Taos. It's that.
Seventh.
That one.
No, then, 5th and Taos, 5th and Taos, sorry, the wrong way.
Taos Square.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
is that one of these problem areas?
No.
Okay.
Well,
That's
that's a
a
problem
problem.
dumpster.
yeah, and I'll address that in my staff report.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
talk
not a
about
short-term
dumpsters in there
rental.
too.
It makes sense, I think it makes sense.
All right,
Okay, and if we didn't send out new stuff, I checked with Rick and I would like to suggest a slight rearranging of the wording on the recommended motion, so let me go ahead and read it. I move to approve ordinance number 3, series 2022 on first reading, amending section 5.28.0503 to include number 3, no trash or garbage shall be left outside the unit. All short-term rentals shall, as a requirement of license issuance and continuously thereafter, provide a trash management plan acceptable to the town administrator.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 3, series 2022 on first reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right,
Can I ask a question after the fact?
Yeah, I know.
oh, you can?
Sure.
So,
Everything happens so fast.
I know. So trash cans outside a single family residence property, short-term rental, a house. Can't do it anymore? Is that what we're talking about? Or we're just,
Well, I think it would be something that is bear proof. You've got to, kind of, isn't this kind
correct.
of going
We have
hand in hand?
ordinances that take care of what the appropriate trash
Right,
containers are already.
all
So
right.
I would
but
not-
is this fine tuning it for short-term rentals that you're not leaving the garbage can outside, whether it's bear proof or not? Because it could be there for days and days as opposed to someone who's there. I mean, to me, this says no trash or garbage shall be left outside the unit. So,
So we'll have second reading, and there
Okay.
will be a public hearing,
okay,
and we can
Okay,
tweak them.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Yes, you can.
That part where you're reading no trash, or that's already in the code. The part that's boldened, that's all caps, is the change that we're adding to it. So that section that you just questioned, that's already there.
so you have an interpretive trash management plan acceptable to the town administrator.
Correct.
Subject to interpretation.
Yeah, I'd have to prove it.
Well, I get that, but what are the guidelines for someone to know whether it's good for me and not good for you or vice versa?
I think
It
if,
seems subjective, so maybe in second reading, we can tighten it down.
We certainly can, and I'm glad the discussion is taking place because we've got second reading to dig into it a bit. One thing that you'll notice that I wrote the new language, at least, because we wanted a trash management plan. I did a couple things. You'll notice it also says as a condition of license issuance, but continuously thereafter. That's key, and it's not the question you asked, but I wanted you to know. That's key because people, often you'll get some kind of a license issued, they've checked all the boxes today, and then it's a year later and things have, fallen away. And so I wanted to make sure that there was sort of continuous ability for the town administrator to enforce whatever trash management plan they came up with.
But if you're a good guy, what if some,
That's all we
I'm
hired.
not disagreeing.
what if somebody's SOB, when we hire,
Oh,
is really like all of a sudden leans on these guys, I've just bad, I wonder if it would it would.
like anything else, where, you delegate an enormous amount of, as you should, responsibility to town administrator.
Okay.
You just do. The charter does, your code throughout the book does in dozens of locations. And the solution for that, I'll tell you, isn't fix the code. The solution for that is this person is you're his direct report, or however you say that.
Right.
You supervise the manager, and that's a part of your job to say that your supervisory role in saying lighten up or get tougher, or that goes with you are his boss, and in part when you give.
So in other words, I'm the governor.
Yeah.
I regulate the speed.
It's your problem too, and
Sure.
he's your tool to solve that problem.
Gotcha.
Just think of this though, currently, I'm adding it as a condition. And so they have to submit something that I would say, okay, that's a sufficient plan. It's not like it's subjective, super subjective. It's more like, I need a plan. I need to see that you have a trash plan, because these homeowners who are living in different places do not have a trash plan.
Mhm.
And so that's why they've been told, just throw it in this dumpster.
What's in that plan though? Is it like, I wonder if there's a way you can make a condition with the garbage, pickup guys to, like, if there's a shed that they can just roll to the back of the driveway and put them away or something like that. Is that like too much to ask, or is that something you could ask trash companies to do?
I don't know.
For short-term rentals.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to dig into it, but I've not gone into that detail.
Oh, okay.
I need to see that you've shown that you have a plan, like they're gonna submit.
You've signed up for a service. And
Yes.
they're coming on a regular basis.
That's what we're looking for. You have a service plan,
Got it.
check.
And you're aware of all of the trash.
Well, wouldn't that be great? If these short-term rentals, if these, the trash guys would just maybe roll it back to some bungee cord, and so that.
No, but see, I can address that too. We have an owner representative that we would call.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be fixing the problem within hours of the time. And
Right.
we've already done that. So we've had some issues and we've had owner representatives address them immediately. So
Nice.
that's the plan, is you always have a backup. Somebody's going to address the
Right.
situation.
Right.
And then if that doesn't help, then I call the owner. So, but it just doesn't happen that often. So it's not a huge
Not a big
problem.
deal.
It's just
Come down to my
going,
neighborhood.
say it again.
Come down to my neighborhood.
It's just going from condition, I'm trying to eliminate
I
the
understand,
conditions
yes.
and then.
To make it included in
Right.
the ordinance.
Okay. Good feedback, good feedback.
weeks.
Yep. Okay, moving on to staff items. Bob Hamilton is with us tonight to give us the Strouts Park update, which we do have copies of. So,
I gave you a summary of where things are at, and I purposely came tonight to answer any questions. Bad news first. We were behind schedule by at least 2 months. We got off to a late start on the foundation work, which we expected would take maybe a month or so, and it's taken, July, August, 2 months plus. The hard work on the foundation is done. We have one more pour to make, which will be when we can get concrete, which right now is 2 weeks from now. But it's not holding us up to go ahead and move forward with putting up the actual structure. So we went down today and got the pressure treated sill material to start, get that in, hopefully by the end of this week, get the rest of the dirt around there backfilled, get the place cleaned up. With Dwayne Jazinski, who is going to put together, he's committed to putting together a team, which we'll pay to go ahead and get the structure erected. I had hoped to get a lot of material pre-stained, but with all the construction work down there, we haven't gotten to that. So if we're ready to frame next week, we're going to start framing. So that's the plan. I've gone out for electrical contractor bids. I'm talking with Triangle Electric, done a lot of work in town, and then with another company, Altitude Electric, they're over in the Conifer Bailey, that area. They are both working on putting proposals together. I talked to them both today. Probably close to the end of the month before we get a proposal for electrical work. I know that when I talked with Altitude, they had already penciled in starting work beginning of October into September
So that might work, and Triangle's aware of our schedule as well, and they work well with the town, so. They both suggested that it might expedite things if we direct purchase the lighting fixtures and the heating things, so I'm gonna put a bill of material together, get it to Jennifer. I think we can go ahead and direct buy those things. Hopefully they'll be here before the electrical contract needs them. Another bit of bad news. With the schedule being late, I think we are really in jeopardy of being able to make the shelter available or something available for Christmas market. I think it's still possible if things go well and we get things moving a little faster. But I think we need to start thinking about some kind of alternative plans for Christmas market. So I'll get a hold of Jen Jordan and make her aware of that, and also HDI, so they're aware that there's a possibility there. The other thing is that we're definitely going to be over our budget for the concrete. It's been a lot more than what was anticipated. I purposely haven't updated the financials yet. I'm waiting for budgeting or bills to come in from Banky and from Paul for the concrete work that's been done to date. But my estimate is we're probably $10,000 to $12,000 over. The good news is the structure, some of the other stuff that's been coming in has been quite a bit below our budget. So I think overall we're still okay on our overall budget, and we do have a $12,000 contingency in the budget as well. So keep going, and you guys will be the first to know if things start turning in another direction. That's kind of where we are. All the wood we bought is finally arrived. The last package of 2x4s and 2x6s and all that arrived is down in Mark's horse barn. So we'll be able to work on it there. If the weather gets bad, we'll be able to stain all if we have time, we'll stain the decking down there. It's out of the weather, so it's a good place to work. So but that all arrived yesterday. So we've got all the material to go ahead and start building. Happy to answer any other questions or concerns anybody has.
Can you look into your crystal ball and tell us what you think the condition of the park will be around Thanksgiving weekend for our tree lighting? And I mean, would the better part of the park be accessible for public use?
Yeah, I will make
just
sure.
not have done, the stalls and stuff are questionable.
Very short, I would say probably within the next, let's say by the end of September, we should be able to shrink the fence down there back to just kind of around the areas that we want to keep people out of. And then hopefully by Thanksgiving time, the fence may very well be gone.
So the park
should be.
So the park could be accessible with the exception of the stall area.
The hazards and stuff, all the digging, they'll all be behind us. I mean, it'll be dirt. I do plan to bring in another boat or two of the road base. We found that once you've been using that to backfill, particularly in the stall area, we found that if you wet it and then compact it, I mean, it's almost like concrete. It really packs down well. So we'll go ahead and get that, get the whole park area ruts out of it and cleaned up so people can walk without killing themselves.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's definitely in the plan at whatever stage we're at. I mean, we're almost another week or so, we'll be at the stage where we'll clean that up. We did get the tent up, so we're gonna be able to have a sheltered area to start working in down there.
But then long term, all that road base is gonna be scraped all up.
No, a lot of that will be based underneath the flagstones.
Okay.
We'll bring in like sand to set or some kind of material to set the flagstones.
Oh, okay.
So that's intended, that's why we're bringing it in.
Okay.
It's not the black stuff, not the millings, it's actual stone road, basically fine gravel with cement dust, not cement dust,
Millings fines or something. Fines from milling, grinding rock.
Grinding rock. Makes a nice surface.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay, thank you
Thanks,
very
Bob.
much, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, next we have town administrators report and task list.
All right, I'll open up questions first on my report. Does anyone have any questions, comments about the report or the task list? And then I'm going to go through specific things after that. Yeah.
So on the 22nd Street Bridge approach, it says it's waiting for bid. What's the deadline on that bid?
I got bids today.
Okay, then that answers that question, and we can address that.
I will address that.
And then, are you going to give us a little bit more enhanced version on the Excel piece and some deadlines, and what do we do if, and what's our recourse? Because, and don't drink the water, or whatever?
Yeah, we still have some more discussion. So I'm not ready to issue a watershed protection permit. I feel like we still have some testing that we want to get done. And I'm not convinced that the response that we got is sufficient. So
What kind
I'm
of raw,
still,
are you looking at raw water testing?
no, I'm looking at testing for the forebay, the sediment.
Right.
What we're having right now is because of so much rain, they've drained the forebay, although I think is what Ryan told me today that it is not full, but there's water there.
Good.
So for the last few weeks, it's been a creek. So the whole
But
forebay.
it's way below the dam?
Yes, yeah, it's back, for the last couple months, it's been a creek. So it's all been drained. The problem that we've had though, in the last few weeks is we've had a lot of rain. So every time it rains, it's basically carving out sediment that's now going downstream. Every time that it rains, it's causing our water plant to shut down. So we have several screens. Our first screen is now destroyed and it's going to be 10 grand to replace. And so all that sediment is negatively impacting our system now. And Excel is saying that it's not my problem. We're not the cause. So they're saying that it's always been this way. So, but it's not. We have documents from wastewater and water, the systems of monitoring are showing it has been shut down because of the screens. So that's what I'm saying. We have a lot more discussion from water attorneys, Jerry and others that need to be feedback that they're going to have to, because my concern is, here's the problem. This is already done. They've already cut the penstock. They've already, put the elbow in to drain the water. So it's already done. I can't tell them that they can't do that. But the next step is they are going to drain, and I want to make sure there's a plan for a second watershed protection permit. What are they going to do with the sediment? I want them to remove the sediment because if not, it's just, so they said to me, this may take 2 or 3 years before they decide to move forward. That's 2 or 3 years of that sediment now getting into our system. So I'm concerned with that. So that's where we are right now. We're still,
if you've got to replace those lumens in your membrane filtration system because your turbidity is just so high.
yeah. So
You could really damage, those guys by waiting, could be on the hook for millions.
yeah. So in the report, I explained that what turbidity is. So that's the amount of solids in the water. And then you have issues of hydrology, like this is going to change how the system works. And we're already seeing negative impacts on the trail. What's the trail that's right beside it? No, not that one. Rutherford Trail, there's a bridge that's getting soaked now because of so much water that's been diverted. That means that bridge is not going to last of what it's supposed to be designed for. And so then they're talking about removing the penstock in certain places. So that could permanently change our trail system now. So there's a lot of things that we brought concerns of that they have not sufficiently answered.
And it's only because they've let the water go on down that dam. They haven't. Why wouldn't they? Because they'd have to maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah, they said that the dam was being compromised. It was an emergency situation. They got permits from the federal government to address that, which meant they can go ahead and address it right now. There's a lot of other questions that come up. So we're not not ready to move forward at this point.
But it's like, you know, the kind of the wheels of legal motion on one of these things is kind of slow. And the damage to that, you know, that plan is fast.
Yeah.
Is there any way to, you know, bring those two deltas together?
Can we put a sand filter in front of our intake?
I mean, Ryan's got a plan. He is gonna talk to Excel as well, it being, you know, that there'll be a financial contribution to fix our system, because this is just now. What happens, we get more rain or even the spring rain runoff?
Right.
This is just, it's gonna happen again and again. And if this pushes out for several years, we're talking like, we have problems. We have problems. So that's,
It stinks to have problems with water when you're one of the first users of it.
Yeah.
I think that's a crime. Anyway.
so good. All right, any other questions concerning the reports? Okay, let me go through other things, details. So since you mentioned, I'll bring that up, Mary, the approaches, that's the one everyone's so excited about. I know you guys are. So I just want to remind you, okay, the first quote we got was going to fix the approaches on 22nd Street, so it'd be 4 of them on both sides. And the first quote was $14,000. Now, there was not engineering drawings with that, but it was gonna basically fill it in, concrete it to match, and then we were gonna have to do some adjustments, handrails and things like that, that were not included. So we asked for an adjustment, an amendment to his quote that would include the railings and then all this engineering work. So
Same price?
so it's just a drum roll. Here we go. 52,000 for one bridge that has 4 approaches. So I'm not ready to move forward with this.
Who's that from?
We might as well put little tiny bridges connecting to our bridge to get to that. So, question?
Well, I'm just trying to think of the justification for the difference. I understand the engineering,
It's rebar and everything else.
which wasn't included in the first plan. Okay. Okay. I guess, yeah,
Seems a little expensive.
Bit expensive.
It does seem.
yeah, it does.
I mean,
Considering this is one bridge and we have other bridges that we're gonna also get a quote and bid.
how about
for.
this? What if they do all our bridges for 52,000?
Well, that's what I thought.
Let's make a deal.
Hey,
That was my plan.
No, wait, there's more.
that's right.
So I guess I
You
need
call now.
direction.
So,
I need direction from you guys.
Now let's hold off on that.
well,
Or what do you
I guess,
think?
well, I mean-
I'm speaking out turn.
I'd like to get it resolved as quickly as we
I
can.
need the engineering for this today. No, it was another.
There were a lot of other
We
quotes.
weren't getting other quotes.
No,
No,
this was
No.
the contractor that we chose to use for bridges. And so I can get other quotes, but we kind of made a decision to use this contractor.
So that's from him, that's from our bridge builder. Okay.
That's his own personal quote.
so,
Is that Kevin Buckley?
I guess my suggestion is sitting down with them and going over the line items to make sure that they all actually do make sense.
Yeah.
And then bring it back to us. and-
Itemize that sucker,
Yeah,
just so that, you know, he's got a responsibility for every line item.
Well, then I think if it's okay with you, I'm gonna meet with Bob, since he is an engineer. I just need direction of what can we
What's appropriate?
cut?
What's Buckley's time frame? If we were to say yes, and that's not where we're going here, but what's his time frame for it to be done? Does he give us any of that?
There's no time frame on here.
I would also
I mean,
ask,
I've been asking for months to get this
Well,
quote.
because this, you know, we all questioned it, and I think this might have been even been before you came on, wasn't it? When we
Yeah.
had that bridge redone and we were questioning we had concerns about that particular contractor. And his pricing was good, yet it was not for a complete job as we discover now.
Right.
The way it was erected, constructed. So this just raises more flags.
Right.
Oh, we had a great deal to build it, but oh, you want it done? You want it complete? Oh, that'll cost you.
Oh, yeah, you can buy the car. Oh, you want the wheels?
Yeah,
And
but
the
like,
engine.
here's an example, he's added, just for the handrails, 9,500.
Wow.
So we went from 14.
They,
But-
they made it titanium or?
They must have.
They'll still be standing there when.
They better be gold.
So I mean, the alternative is we can have our bridge crew create handrails and put them on.
But our bridge crew is worried about roads and everything else right now.
Yeah, but
Right.
you know, when season slows down, we can have them change.
Yeah,
Sean's very
roads,
industrious.
No,
I think we should relook at the,
That's
Yeah.
just,
Well, let's look at and see what maybe our staff could do,
Okay.
take it on.
or our consultants, we could get some.
yeah.
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 Yes,
I just have a question. The quote, is it based on something that has already been engineered?
Yes.
Okay, so you have, there is an engineered
I have
plan
an
for what
engineered
needs to
plan.
be done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
and the engineering costs are part of this, correct? Okay. So, yeah, I guess I'm concerned that we understand where all these proposed costs are coming from. And is there anything that staff could do
Yeah.
to, so, but, and then get some kind of time frame from him,
Maybe a list.
commitment. Is that amenable to everybody else? Okay,
I'll bring it.
I have a question.
yes,
When Mary brought this up, I would like to take a look at the engineering, Rick, because it looked like a slappy deal that they weren't taking into account what they were gonna put this concrete and the ramps and all that on. And that they didn't really have a plan. They were just gonna put some big rocks there and that's what they were gonna do. So I would like to see what their plan is. Is it gonna be reinforced concrete? Is it gonna be, is it gonna have we don't have to worry about erosion and the whatever's supporting the ramps? Do we have to worry about that freeze thaw and just going away? And I think Mary, wasn't that your initial, why you brought it up? Because it didn't look like there was a real plan for that.
Yeah, a few months ago when we were talking and there were no rails there, that was my concern, that they were just, gonna pound a few things and drop a few rocks and then we have the Excel problem, so we'll have more issues with the water coming through. So,
yeah. Well, I think, are you okay, Rich, if Rick talks with Bob Hamilton and goes over, or do you want?
Absolutely.
You want the engineering to be provided to the whole board? I mean, I would kind of like to see.
I would like to see.
I would like to see it, but of course I trust Mr. Hamilton because he's dealing and has dealt with these issues all the time. He
Yeah,
has experience, not just the degree, he has the experience to be able to, and foresight to be able to see what might become an issue.
I
okay,
can make copies and put it in your boxes.
okay, very good, thank you.
All right, moving to the next
Okay.
one. So this is an issue that I'm dealing with right now. Just bring it to your attention. So Clear Creek Inn, they've been operating as a bed and breakfast and they have a glass blowing retail shop connected. They've also are doing temporary use permits to do weddings. The issue that I am aware of now is that we don't know what the occupancy level or load is. Normally, when you get a CO, certificate of occupancy, it shows load, showing what your numbers are allowed in your facility. Don't have one in that building. So I had to do some research and I found an email from Kent Brown that he gave them numbers, but did not want the numbers to be located on the building. So it makes it awkward for staff to give determinations, especially when he gives numbers to me. And I've been telling him it has to now, because of sound permits and the complaints that I'm getting from a neighbor, that one neighbor, that I have cut it off to 8:30 so that the sound would not disturb the peace of someone else. But now the members have been going inside, which most likely is exceeding the occupancy load. So what I've decided, and I'm just sharing information with you, I've decided to allow him to continue based on Kent's email with him. I'm going by these numbers, even though I don't believe these are legitimate at all, since I was the building official in Brush and I would never have approved this. But I'll honor this for one more month or so until his season is over, and then we're gonna redo the whole thing. So I've looked at special use permits, I've looked at all these other things, talked to Dan Wester, and we're gonna straighten out to get the exact number that he's supposed to be doing. So just updating you on that. This one is, next item is Strauss Park locks. So it's put a pretty big strain on the town staff to have to be unlocking and locking the bathrooms up. And so I contacted several different people to get some quotes to figure out what kind of locks we should be using. We want programmable locks, and Silverthorne has been a helpful source, the municipality, of kind of what their system is, what we're using. And also our county has these locks too in some of their facilities. So Beth Luther has also helped. So I've gotten 3 quotes to do this, and I'd like to move forward. I know it falls within my discretion because it's below having to get approval from you guys, but they're expensive. So I want you to notice, so when you see on the budget or the line items for monthly expenses, it's gonna be probably $3,000 for 2 locks. They're expensive. So what this will do is they'll be programmable. We can set them to automatically open at 8 a.m., automatically lock at 5 or 6 p.m. And then we may have, there's different settings for weekends. We may keep it open till 8 because of people downtown, or events. We can have another setting for events to be open. I would also like it to either be coded or keyed if a cleaning person has to go in, or if a homeless person's in there, say at 4 o'clock and they stay, we don't want them to stay in there, but if they were to leave, it would automatically lock. So we want to make sure that it has those kind of capabilities. So just bringing that to your attention too.
So it has a 7-day individual programmable opportunity so that we can be flexible for
days
Yeah.
versus weekends.
They're $3,000. It's $3,000.
Well, yeah,
But I think we're gonna recoup that over.
But we don't get just 1 lot, we get 2.
wait, there's more.
Such a deal.
Just letting you know, we get 2 babies.
So those are for the restrooms here at Strauss Park. What do we have
What should we,
at the lake?
what should we buy? Like,
We have not, Strauss Park has just been the issue.
No, I
I
understand
know.
that, but I mean, if we're
We have
using
a-
personnel to go down and have to lock or unlock, I don't know, what do they do?
Vets and ladies rooms down by the lake, that might not be
Do
a
they
bad
have
idea. Maybe there's a better deal at a bulk, if we buy
So
more.
we're trying to save our employees
Yeah.
time over
Right.
time so that they can build handrails.
That's a great thought. I will, which means it'll be probably close to have to come and get approval from you guys.
No, I just think that, I
So
think
Mary,
that's
we
smart.
promise we won't ask you what that is. Locks on bathrooms.
I know you're like, what? That's
We're gonna spend how much?
And can you take one of those little bobby pins?
Yeah.
They might, down at the lake, they might still have the porta johns and the main bathrooms are locked because of all the problems. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But you do still have the porta johns down there, and I think the bathrooms down there are currently locked. But in the future, if they could ever get them operated,
Yeah,
Okay. Good to
Okay.
know.
well,
Okay.
So you've always had problems operating those bathrooms, flushing and.
Cleaning.
No, he hasn't.
It's,
I'm not a big flusher myself.
No.
it's the cleaning.
Okay, so moving on.
Well, it's just the upview, Scott.
Yeah.
The next update, of just giving an update because I've already went ahead and did this.
retroactive, not good.
I love it.
It's grandfathered in.
Our gateway signs that have been damaged, I've had House of Signs come out. They have given me quotes to fix them. They're gonna fix the main one and then just also fix some of the others that are just minor repairs. But that's gonna be, just letting you know the number, $3,800 to fix those signs.
One of the comments that came up about those signs at BPC was whether all the right places are still. Well, I think the ones that are there are okay, but should there be more? That
More
would,
signage?
directing to something, I mean, let's say the Energy Museum.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I think that would, it's almost a separate thing. I'm only dealing with the repairs.
right,
Because I know BPC also mentioned to me that the verbiage of historic downtown should be corrected, that's not appropriate. It should be the National Historic District or whatever that landmark district. And
Well,
it should
but
be-
that encompasses the entire area.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to move on that because
Yeah.
that's going to require more.
It may include
Discussion if you're
Silver Pool, but I
changing
mean,
wording.
still, it's, then it is the area.
But that doesn't get people to downtown, is my
Yeah,
point.
we're trying to make it simple, historic areas this way.
so the repairs can be completed and then these potential additions can be done that aren't undoing the repairs.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, because the repairs are at the bottom from the snowplow hitting it
Okay,
and cracking the sign kind of stuff.
okay.
Yeah, so it's a structural cosmetic thing, not wayfinding thing. So it's like two different things. And so, and I don't want to change it until we're all clear as mud with how we want that sign.
In total.
Because
agreement.
Kent Stewart also sent an email asking, how does he get his on there for the capital prize? And I didn't want to address that. But
So we're just talking repairs at this point?
Correct.
Okay,
talking about repairs.
Yes.
got it.
And I just mentioned Kent Stewart, sorry. Dumpsters, I know that's what everyone's super excited about. So Sean from DRC has put together a huge catalog of dumpsters that are non-compliant. And so I put together a document, I don't think it's in here, actually it's in my other folder of complaints that I have. So he put together a whole list of non-compliant dumpsters according to our code, and he gave me addresses and pictures. So I put together another list of what our code says about the dumpster, which I intend to create a letter and send to every one of these saying your dumpster is out of compliance, see such and such code. So it looks like the majority are not enclosed, that should be enclosed, or it should not be in front of building where because our code, DRC's guidelines are very specific, where our code, it just says, must be, animal proof or bear resistant, things like that. But the DRC language is a lot more specific of how these things should be. So I have put together a document that I'm going to send them a letter and start working. This is going to take me some time because it's a lot. What I plan on doing is talking to the owner, giving them a letter saying, hey, we want you to address this. So I've already done this with one entity right now, and that's Bighorn Crossing Apartments. And, but I've already sent like 3 or 4 emails to them in the last 5 months, and they still haven't addressed it. And so this could take some time. Yeah. All right, that's all I want to bring
This
up.
begs the question, why do we have a code enforcement guy? A badge and a gun.
Because not all code enforcement need.
Correct.
They do need that.
So,
They do need the badge.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like code enforcement? Who doesn't like to be that guy that
I
knocks
did
on
it
the
for
door?
many years and nobody likes me.
And so one last thing is, I know Jerry and I've been talking, Jerry wanted to make some comments too, so I'll hand it over to Jerry.
Under Rick's employment contract, you are obliged to provide a 6-month review before the conclusion of his 6-month trial period under that contract. And I am asking you to complete your reviews, which I've sent you by email. And you need to send them back to me. If you need another copy of the form, I will get it to you. And as soon as I've received all the reviews, just like I always do and have for years for town administrative reviews, I will have them collated. Package goes out to you and Rick, and then you can have the 6-month review, which you need to have in the contract to be able to close out the trial period and move into the standing period.
When did you send it?
A couple
Over-
weeks ago, but we've got till next
Yeah.
month because he came on in April, so 4 + 6 is 10, so we're safe. If I
Yeah.
recall correctly, did we get a response on if I recall correctly, when you came on board, within the first couple weeks or so, you were going to give us some feedback on some goals that you had for yourself. And so my reluctance, delay in responding to that evaluation was, I was wondering what exactly those were. And then I'm gonna open up the door and say, would you be willing to do a self-evaluation and get that to us so that when we complete the evaluation on you, we can. And remember, you're always supposed to be harder on yourself than we would be.
Yes, ma'am.
Up to Rick.
Just had to put that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, I can.
What did I say at the
see
beginning of this meeting, okay?
So,
But I would like goals. I would like the
All right.
goals. Cool.
so armed with that feedback, when I get those goals, I'll route them out to you again. My sole job is making certain that the evaluation in the contract is completed timely. You're right, we still have time. We've used up some of that, but we still do have time. Remembering that once it's all collated, et cetera, we'll need to schedule for a board meeting, an executive session, tail end of the board meeting, before that 6-month period runs. So as soon as I get, let's leave it this way. As soon as I get whatever materials Rick wants to put together, I will relay those to the entire board with another copy of the evaluation form and ask you to send it back.
Just one clarity real quick. Are you asking for goals and for me to evaluate myself? Or are you asking for my goals?
Both.
Okay.
Objections or support from the board on that? I'm sure there's kind of a consensus.
You said September 6th, but you sent it on the 7th.
Right, that's what I
No,
got.
I'd sent it previously.
He had sent it
Oh,
previously.
you did?
Yeah,
He
weeks
did.
previously.
So
and
you
then
were late.
Yeah,
The thing I sent on the 7th was, I forwarded my previous message, which
Sorry.
contained as
Got it.
at
Correct.
September 6th as the first deadline.
Got it.
right.
So now there will be a third deadline with this additional material, which is helpful.
Right.
And we'll pull that all together and I'll look at the schedule and just make sure. The only thing I want to make sure is I get them back in time to have them collated, it won't take long. So that package can get out to you then before whatever meeting you're going to have that review
Right.
at. That's my sole goal.
Right.
Okay, so look to get another little missive for me in the next couple days.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
You bet.
So
Yeah.
don't fill this out. Wait until you get the new.
Yeah, I think if the goals from him would, and his self-evaluation would be useful to you, as I'm hearing they would be before you fill out the evaluation.
Oh.
Wait until you get it, but you'll get that package shortly.
Honestly.
And you want me to be honest, right?
I do.
You want,
Preferably.
if it's a 1 out of 10, you want 1.
Yes.
Okay, 2 is okay.
Put it this way, the same honesty that he expects back from you.
Oh.
There you go. I'm just being transparent. That's all I have on that. Thank you.
I can agree with that.
You'll see it from me
Thanks, Rick.
shortly.
Okay, then I'll start now.
You're welcome. Oh, one last thing too, sorry, I love to say one last thing a lot. I wanted to ask Randy, just for the board's help, to make some comments, just what you said to us today about media and things like that. Wanted you to say something to them.
We had a staff meeting this morning, for those of you who haven't seen the most recent news that might have Georgetown personnel involved, however peripherally or not. I asked the staff, or I mentioned to staff, that our practice is no comment across the board. This is still an ongoing investigation, an ongoing determination by the district attorney's office. So none of that would be beneficial. If
You're aware of what
what
is
we're
being
talking
Oh, I
about-
am, I just
Okay,
wondered, I just
okay.
wondered when we turn off the cameras, if we can really ask you questions.
No, it's-
No, because it's still no
This is-
comment.
I'm just kidding.
This is just what it is.
Okay.
Bad situation, never good.
Right.
And what the circumstances are, and never benefits anything with a lot of speculation, without a lot of information.
Right. Rich, did you have any questions about that? Okay, thank you. All right, and then I think, does anybody else have anything before we move into executive session? Okay,
Mary has the motion.
okay.
I move to go into executive session for a conference under section 24-6-402, subsections 4A, B, and E, the Colorado Revised Statutes, with the town attorney, town administrator, and appropriate staff to receive legal advice and instruct negotiators concerning the acquisition of real property. I further move to adjourn the board meeting at the conclusion of the executive session.
Okay.
There's that motion, there's a second.
Second.
Think we're voting on it?
We're gonna have the meeting go back, we're not gonna vote.
No, we're not.
No, like after.
No.
we-
You actually got
No.
seconded, so you can vote
It's
on it?
not yet,
Ah, sorry.
not yet.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Everybody-
Keep us on track.
Everybody's-
So it's
Does Rick
been
have to
moved.
go out and-
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. At this time, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay,
Does
it's
he-
unanimous.
Does he have the?
Yes.
He's got the.
Yeah, Reg, I sent you the link to the executive session, okay?
Come on back, buddy.
We'll see you in a bit.
Sorry.
You bet, that's okay.
Your ex wants